Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Recovery Lab. My name is Chris. I'm your coach and sports therapist. And welcome to our Friday lower body prehab session. Hope you're all okay. Hope you're having an amazing day so far. And I hope you have had a good week so far as well. Just like Kim, say hello in the comment section. Good morning, Kim. Hope you're okay. Hope you've having a good day so far. Thinking of what to say. Hope you're well. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So today is all about our lower body. Leading from yesterday, it was all about spinal health. If you've been on Instagram this morning, you would have seen my post about yesterday's class about spinal health and how it is brilliant for sporting economy. And if you don't do sports and you're thinking, well, why does it benefit me? Naturally, you have life economy. So the things that you do on a daily basis, pretty much I like to think of your pelvis as your plant pot, okay, and your spine as your tree. Now, if your plant pot, your hips are unstable, okay, it means then your tree, then your spine is then waving all around the place and kind of going all over the shop. Now, this stems from our hips, it stems from our ankles, okay. Now, the knees tend to look after themselves as long as the other two look after themselves, okay? So they're the ones in between. And I got a little saying that kind of, this is the little brother, and then you've got the two big brothers, your ankle and your hip. They kind of bully the poor knee, okay? So as long as, if they're not kind of strong and stable, then the knee isn't strong and stable, okay? So if you have sore knees, then this is going to be a class that really benefits you by literally strengthening the ankle joint, strengthening the hip. Not only will you take the pressure off your knee, you'll also take the pressure off your lower back and back in general, because it's those things that the crossover between them is huge, okay? Those who've been doing a class for a while now are literally going to relate to this. The more stable you are, the more your economy improves, the less kind of likelihood you are of getting those injuries in the first place. And not just that, it kind of helps improve your overall performance. So that Monday session, that Tuesday session, the stronger you are from your prehab classes, these Thursday and Friday sessions, the stronger you're going to be in those Monday and Tuesday sessions, where that performance then is going to really improve. And the same with, like, if you have a sport that you're training for, I know there's a lot of triathletes on here, a lot of swimmers on here, and that are kind of doing their sports. It's these sessions that are going to underpin the strength for those sports, okay? So it's going to reduce your injury rates and it's going to improve your performance and your power output in those sports contexts, okay? So it's really, really key that you get it done and you keep turning up, okay? So the things you're going to need today are resistance bands. I had to think of the word then. Resistance bands, and the little ones for your knees, okay, as well as these long red ones. We're going to do some ankle drills with these as well as the little ones. So you're going to need those. Going to need a little step or a little yoga block. I'm going to stand on this. It's nice and strong. It's nice and sturdy. It's not going anywhere when I stand on it. As long as you potentially have an object, whether it's a step. I know some of you have got these kind of Reebok steps, these gym steps, some gym benches. As long as it's stable, I don't mind you standing on it, so you don't kind of injure yourself. Need an object, random object. I've got a little massage ball that's kind of stuck in this like flat pad that doesn't move. Okay, you need something like this, whether it's a drink water ball, whether it's your foam roller, whether it's a yoga block that you want to use. It's something that you're just going to stand up, pick up, and place down on the floor whilst you're balancing, okay? And then because you're going to be balancing, you're going to need some sort of yoga block. Mine's all over the shop today. Some sort of balance pad, whether it's a little one like so or a bigger version that's a little bit more stable. You're going to need those as well. Okay, so that kind of generalizes everything. I'm going to stop talking because it's confusing everybody. And we'll start the class and start stretching. So, what you're going to do. First of all, you're going to sink it down just like so. You're going to draw it down. You're going to drive squeezing your bum at the top. stretching out your hips, stretching out your ankle joints at the bottom. Okay, some of you are going to feel the tension in your quads, just like so. If you've got sore knees, you may want to place your hands down and drive up like that. Okay, just try and get to the point where you can squeeze the bum, because it's really good for glute activation and learning to tuck your pelvis under, which is super, super important. Most of us end up walking around like ducks. We have tightness at the front of our pelvis and that curve in the back. We kind of end up like that. The more you tuck under and stretch here, okay, the less pressure you're going to have on your lower back, because your hip flexors aren't going to be as tight and they're going to stop pulling on your lower back. There we go. So big deep breaths. Keep going through. So big deep breaths. Squeeze to the bum. So one more. Good. Okay. So from there, keeping the bands off for now. Okay. What you're going to do, you're going to drive out, back, up, back. Okay. So it's out, back, up, back. Just like so. Drawing out nice and deep. Trying to get that straight as you can. Try and only get the hip or the leg moving, not your spine. Try and keep that as still as you can. Good job. Good. Good. One more of each. Should be having those glutes firing already. And then spin round. Okay, so opposite leg. Exact same. Nice strong foundation. Back straight. Okay. Draw out. Back in. Big draw up. Okay. So keep it up. Good. Last one. There we go. And shake it out. Good. From there, you're going to grab a seat. You're going to grab one of these little bands. They're coming out. They're going to slide onto your feet, just like so. Slide back for you. I'm going to do it on your feet. Now, some of you are going to know this one already from previous sessions. You're going to draw it out nice and wide. Okay, your feet are going to rotate in. I'm getting cramp in my leg. And from there, you're going to tuck your toes up. You're going to make sure this is even on your feet. It's really important. And then from there, you're going to drive up and out so your legs are dead straight. Now, bring your hands around the back, puff your chest out, okay? Take your legs out nice and wide and then rotate. Tuck them up so your toes are straight, your knees are straight. Okay, but keep that chest puffed out. Good. So big deep breath. Good. Keep it up. Keep it going. Good. Big deep breath. So 2 more. Good. Okay, so I'm going to show you this one from the side, right? What I want you to do is tuck one up. Okay, you're going to pull up. Okay, you're going to push down. Okay, pull up and push down. Just like so. Keeping up back nice and straight, tucking the toe up as you drive up, push it away as you bring it up with the other foot. Okay. Good, almost there. Good, okay. From there, sliding this one off. Okay, what you're going to do, you're going to grab your thin red band. Okay, now from there, you're going to tuck it on one side and you're going to pull with the other. Okay, so notice how my foot is being slightly rotated out. So it's kind of like I've rolled my ankle. Okay, I'm then going to place this slightly on my knee. Okay, just to kind of help me. I'm then going to make sure that knee is driven outwards and not allowing it internally rotate. Okay, from there, I'm going to then bring my foot up and around and tuck it up. So it's down. I can then bring my leg out as wide as I want. I can then draw this knee out as wide as you want. And then I just got a little bit of extra resistance. Okay. And then I'm trying to tuck up and around. Okay. So you're allowing it to drop down, point away. You rotate up and then tuck it up. You should feel this all along the outside of the ankle, up the outside of the shin. So it's there as much as you can. Allow the stretch and then tuck and rotate in as best as you can. And then drop down, okay? When you drop down, it's really important that you control the drop. You're just not allowing your ankle to fling in that position super quick. It's super controlled. This exercise helps reduce basically rotating your ankle, lateral ankle sprains, which is having your foot in this position, okay, is the second highest ankle injury in running, okay? So it's super, super important that we help strengthen this area of our foot. So if you're always falling over, if you feel a little bit clumsy in some regards, okay, this is going to really help you reduce lateral ankle sprains. These exercises, it's the first exercise we did with the band, the white band I have, rolling those ankles up and in. Super, super important. Good. Now, from there, keep holding on where you are. This time, you're going to make it a little bit harder for yourself. Then you're going to push down there as you allow your ankle to draw through. So you've got it here. You've got it on that foot, okay? You're trying your best to stay nice and straight. And then you're rolling in and up, and it should be a lot tougher now as you're doing it. So you start in that kind of tucked in position. Then you're trying to rotate and then draw up as you bring it up as best as you can. Good, almost there. Good. Say it, last one. Awesome job. Okay, so gently relax. Place the other foot inside. You're going to rotate over the other side and exactly the same. Take it out as wide as you can and allow that ankle roll over, if you will. So it's kind of slightly tucked in. Okay, take the knee up nice and wide. Make sure the back is nice and straight. Okay, you want that band on somewhere where the foot doesn't hurt. Okay, and then you're drawing out, being pulled out, going up and in. Okay, so you should feel it as you do this exercise. Now, for some of you, one ankle is going to be a little bit stronger than the other. For me, it felt like my other leg, my right leg, was a little stronger. This one feels a little bit delicate in some regards. So big deep breaths, drawing in, small movements, okay? So take it as far as you can. Some of you are going to be really restricted in the ankles because you don't have the mobility. Some of you are going to be hypermobile there and you can really bend. It's you guys that kind of will really, really benefit from this. Because with hypermobility comes a massive risk of injury. Same with if you've got hypermobile knees and they bend backwards slightly, with your elbows, you name it, hypermobility becomes a lot of stress on the joints. So you need to get those muscles strong. Good. From there, drawing the foot down, taking it out wide again. So it's really pulling, okay, and drawing up as best as you can. Keeping that spine nice and straight by puffing the chest out. Allowing that foot to work really hard. Remember to go slow up and slow down, okay? Good. Two more. Last one. Good job. Okay. Gently releasing the tension in the band. You're going to chuck that out of the way. You're going to slide this one onto your ankles, just like so. You're going to stand up nice and carefully, just like that. So, feet are hip width, okay? You're going to lean on your left leg, okay? You're going to draw out and back in. Now, when you draw out, I want you to draw out with the heel or the ankle joint, okay? Not the toes. If you draw out with the toes, you'll then end up rotating, okay? If you draw out with the heel, okay, you end up stepping wide, but your feet and knees face forward, which is very, very important because of hip and knee alignment. If you your running gait, if you want to move forward like this as opposed to run and flick your leg out, then you need to correct these imbalances, okay? So it starts with simple exercises like this, by just standing here, separating your toes, allowing your feet to be feet, okay? Drawing your heel down, your big toe down, and then as you drive out with this right leg, you're focusing on the ankle joint and the heel, okay? So, you ready? Pick a line where you can focus on, and then big draw out, okay? And then don't allow that knee rotation. Last one. Good job. Swapping legs. If you want to use your mat, stand on the other side of your mat. Okay, and then big draw out. Good job, okay? So from there, swap sides, okay? Same again, separating those toes, heel and big toe down. Drawing out nice and wide. Try and tuck your toes up if you can. Try and drive out with the ankle and heel. So that leg stays nice and straight. Try and balance as best as you can. Good, 2 more. Good job, swap sides. So let's go. Two more. Last one. Good job. From there, you slide it up just above the knee. Okay. It's about a hand span away from the knee. Tuck the shorts under so you can see it. Okay. From there, okay, exact same. Feet separated. Going to be a little bit more powerful now. Should feel a little bit easier in a sense. You should feel it more up towards your hips as you're doing it. Allow the foot to stay straight and allow those knees to stay forward. Good, 2 more. Good, swap legs. Keep it up, guys. Nice and consistent. Big draw out. Woohoo. Almost. Good, 2 more. Last one. Good job. Gently knocking it off. Let me know how you're feeling. Should feel it in your bit in your hip flexors towards the front, your glutes on the back, potentially your feet, your lower calves, soleus muscle coming in here, maybe the arches of your feet, depending on where you're weakest. Okay, it's where you're going to feel it the most, all right? All right. So this next one, stable surface, slightly raised. Okay, that's what you're going to need. Just like so. If you need a drink, grab it now. Now this one. Okay. Now usually what I don't advocate is draw the knees forward. Okay. Typically it puts all the weight in the knees. Okay. However, this exercise you do very carefully and slowly. Puts a lot of pressure on the knee patella. Okay. You need to do it slow. You need to do it steady. You're not quickly jabbing your knee forward when you do it. Okay. It's to help slowly strengthen your knee. So slowly load your knee. Typically, you would always go hips back first. Okay, because it's the bigger joint. It's designed to take greater loads. Whereas this is specifically a ankle stability exercise and a knee strengthening exercise, which is why you're going to do it super slow. Okay, so slower the better. And that's a good question. Okay, so when which is meant to be more sore. Okay, now when you are working smaller muscles, right, the endurance-based muscles generally, because they contract a million times a day, trying to support. Now your bigger muscles, the working muscles, the ones that you all know, your quads, your hamstrings, etc., are the ones that are kind of the bigger working muscles. Okay, now those deeper stabilizing muscles, okay, the skeletal muscles, if you will, they're the ones that kind of do a million contractions. So by going from one side to the other, to the other, to the other, okay, with no real rest, allows one for you to build up fatigue, okay, which is really important because they're endurance muscles. So they need to have a sense of fatigue before they grow, develop, and adapt. Okay. Now, if you're going from one side, having a rest, doing another side, having a rest, you then need greater loads on it. So you need much more reps, much more sets for you to really feel the difference, unless you're using external loads via a cable machine, for example. Okay. Now you've got to be careful with cable machines and kind of external loads like that. Okay. Because the heavier you go, the bigger muscles take over. And that's when you're more likely to rotate and change the technique and the biomechanics for you to achieve the exercise. Now, depending on the job, now some muscles may be good when they're moving dynamically, but weaker when they're stabilizing. Okay. So in regards to your question, it all depends on how you then stand, how you move, your posture, your current biomechanical positioning in movement. Because if you always stand this side, okay, this leg is going to be far greater at stabilizing than actually working, because as you stand this side, it's stabilizing. However, it's also compressing the muscles in certain ways that don't allow them to fire that well. So it'll be used to stabilizing through muscle memory. However, the actual activation of the exercise, when it starts moving dynamically, it won't do so well. Now, this side will be better at the dynamical movement side. However, it won't be very good at stabilizing because it doesn't do it that often. So you need to look at the things like that in a sense of, from an individual perspective, it's how you move and what sports you're into, what lifestyles you're leading, and so on and so forth. So there is no right or wrong answer with that. Sometimes you're going to find it much harder on one leg, doing a certain, like half of the exercise, and then the other side you'll find it much easier. And it's just being aware of it, so then you can then correct it and move forward. Okay. So, but it's good that you're kind of thinking of those things, and it's also really good you're aware of them, because then it means you can slow it down and work harder when you're doing the opposites. Okay. So this way, you're going to open your feet as wide as you can. You're going to stand on your object. Okay. You're going to balance. It's naturally going to move your leg around. I don't know if you can see a lot of movement here. Okay. And then you're going to draw forward with the knee. As you push your hips down, you go to a point, and then you'll stand. Okay. It's knee forward, hips back to a point, and then driving up. Now notice how this leg is staying off the floor. It's slightly back, because if I get to here and I can't stand up, I put it down and I stand up and I help myself. Okay. It's going to be all over the shop. It's going to be bouncing around. It's going to be kind of unstable. Your foot is going to be working overtime. Slow it down. The more that happens, actually the better, because it means it's working harder neurally. Okay. So you will get the adaptation, and then all of a sudden you'll get less and less movement. Right. So nice and steady. It's down, super slow. It's up, nice and tall. Super steady. Good. One more. Good job. Shake it out. That's going to be a real ankle burner for me. It is all up here, burning. You can feel it a bit in my hip, but it's all ankle. Some of you are going to be all ankle. Some of you are going to be all hip. Depends on where you're strongest. However, it will also tell you where you need to work more. Okay. So if you're all ankle like me, means I need to get these stronger. Okay. If you're all hip and your hips firing and your bum's on fire right now, then it means you need to do more. Okay. You ready? Separate the toes. Big toe, heel down. Good. Slow and steady. Keep it up. So one more. So gently shake it out. Whew. Does anyone notice a big difference between one side and the other? For example, for me, my right leg, okay, is more powerful, but there's less stability in it, okay? So right then, my glutes on this side firing much more. So I can feel it much more because it's struggling more, okay? So keep pushing, keep taking your time with it, start feeling, okay? Because you're trying to connect your mind to the feeling of what you're doing and why you're doing it, all right? Because you'll forget 99% of what I say, but you won't forget that feeling. And then when you know the feeling, you'll know when it feels right and you know when it feels wrong, okay? All right? So it's really important that you learn that and connect your body to your mind in that sense, in that regard, all right? So gently placing your original leg back on your block. We've got one more round of each, okay? So lifting up, drawing down, nice and steady. So 2 more. Good job. Shake it out. Good job. So yeah. Yeah. So potentially what you may find is if it's the outside working a lot more, maybe it's not used to being dead straight as you do these exercises as you come through, because maybe your inner thighs don't work as well. So all of a sudden, by repositioning this side is having to contract harder to keep it in line. Be interested, keep it up. Because the biggest thing I've found is generally when you do kind of lateral kicks, most people rotate because one, you can only go so far before your hip stops you if you go laterally and keep your feet straight and your knees straight. Most people want to go up here, and to do so, you need to rotate. But by doing that, you end up working a different muscle group in a different way, and it doesn't necessarily help with hip stability. However, it's very sport specific, depending on if you're doing a lot of lateral ankle, lateral change of directions, you may need that. So gently get ready, opposite leg. Ready, 2, 1, deep as you can. Good, one more. Good job, well done. Shake it out. Get rid of your blocks. So now, unless you don't have any balance pads, if you have balance pads, grab those, chuck your blocks away. Now, if you are spoiled for choice like myself, and you have 2 different types, you're going to pick the easier one first for the first couple rounds, and then you're going to pick the harder one, which is this one. If you have just one, then obviously just use one, okay? And you're stuck with choice. If you have nothing, you can either use the floor for this, right? Or you can grab a load of towels, fold them up into little squares, and then stand on one of those. It will effectively feel just like this does, okay? How are you feeling so far? How are your ankles? How are your legs? You're gonna need this as well, okay? It's a little object. Don't need this specific one, but you need a object, okay? Whether it's a bottle, whether it's a foam roller, your yoga block that you were just using, you're gonna place it down on the floor and then pick it back up. Yeah, sounds fun. So this next one, we've done it before in previous sessions. You plant your foot down, okay? You're gonna use your opposite hand to pick up and put down, okay? One's leg's up there, you're coming up, you're driving up like so. You'll pick up here, and then you're gonna go around you as you do it. Just like that, okay? And then it's gonna go behind and behind again, okay? So grab your object, get yourself ready. Now with your feet, it's really important that you put your heel in the center of your object, your foot in the center of your object. You want your heel down, you want your big toe down, okay? You want to try and separate those toes as best you can so you can increase the activation and you can really kind of straighten out those legs over time and straighten out those toes. Should be straight like fingers, not crossed over like most of our feet are, okay? We end up wearing the wrong shoes and we end up hammering ourselves, and it limits the foot health that we have, okay? So gently getting ready, okay? Going in 3, 2, 1, as best as you can, carefully placing the object down and standing up nice and tall, all right? Try not to drop it. Done it. How's everybody going so far? Got the 1, got the 3, if I can do that. Ooh. Good. Once you've done all 4 sides, relax, shake it out. Roll your ankles round, shake out your leg. Let me know how that was. So, got to the bottom one and done it over. Now, if you're like me, my right leg is my worst leg. So this is going to be interesting, all right? So enjoy the comedy value. Take your time with it, slow it down, okay? The slower it is, the more activation it is. Yes, it's harder, but it recruits more fibers and teaches your muscle the movement. And that's where you develop muscle memory. That's where you develop strength and power, okay? So slow and steady. 1 foot down, 1 foot up, opposite hand working. Shake it out. Good job. Well done. Let me know how you're doing, guys. Have a little drink, have a little rest. Well done. Well done. So brilliant one, you know. I've got little cones, like the colourful cones that kids use for football, sports, rugby, you know, all those little things that are kind of typically mark out coaching environment when you're a kid. There's a brilliant one that I do on a balance board. I've got an Indu board. Okay. You can do it on a Bosu board as well, or you can just stand up on one leg. And what you do is you get the cone and you flip it over. So you have 4 different colors. Okay. And you either go around a circle and so on, you go around the other way, okay, clockwise and anti-clockwise, then change legs. The real killer, challenges you a lot. There's another one way that you can do where someone calls out the color and you're standing there on the one leg. So you could have a yellow, you could have a red, a green, a blue, and then that way you could go right, red, okay, red, right, blue, green, yellow, red, and like because you're just reacting, it forces you to then kind of really think about what you're doing as well as also counterbalance as well. Another great one is standing on one leg and playing catch. So having someone where they're on the opposite side of you, okay, you can literally play catch with each other, balance on one leg, and you'll be amazed on how long you can actually go and how much better you are at balancing because you're thinking about something and you're just reacting. Your body is brilliant at that. It's when you think about something that you're actually doing, and then all of a sudden it becomes much, much harder. Okay. So the next one, we're going to do the same. However, you're going to change the pad you're balancing on if you can. If you only have one, then obviously stay with the one, but try and make it a little bit harder. Try and slow it down a little bit more. Take your time with it, and then drive up super quick. Okay. So. Yeah. So, what was it? I lift the arms and leg higher. So, because of hamstring flexibility, you're able to do it. Okay. What would make it harder is if you bend the knee and try and squat down a bit. Okay. And then drive up. So, you kind of like our first exercise when we were on the yoga block. If you bend down here, you'll find it harder than if you bend down there and come up. Because you have great hamstring flexibility, Kim, you'll find that version easier than if you draw down and drive your hips down. It'll create a lot more instability in your legs, but however, it's a lot more efficient in regards to movement patterns because you run, cycle, walk, move around like that. You don't tend to have a straight leg when you're moving. Okay, so yeah, try both. What I would say, because one will use the front of your body with a bent leg. Your hamstrings will naturally, it's like going, okay, you're drawing down, but how straight is your hips? So if you had a pole going straight through your body, straight through, are you slightly rotating as you're getting it? Or are you be able to straighten if you have 2 buckets hanging through that pole, how much water is splashing out? Okay. So it's another way of doing it like that, that effectively you could use both and both are the right answer. However, it's how much are you rotating as you're going down with a straight leg. So it's little things like that, subtle little changes that will make a huge, huge difference. So yeah, effectively, like it depends. Like sometimes can't do it the harder way potentially. It depends on how where your muscle balances are. You know, some people are going to find a straight leg harder than a bent leg, and some people are going to find a bent leg harder than a straight leg. What I'd recommend is probably do both. You know, because then that way you're ticking all boxes as opposed to saying, right, this is the only way to train or that is the only way to train. Effectively, it's kind of working with your body and in that regards. Okay, so back to the left leg down. Okay, object in the right hand, hard as you can, nice and easy, gently going down. Good. Ruined it. Good. Shake it out. Good. Yeah. So it's that rotation that it's kind of like when we're yesterday when I was saying about the planks and so on and so forth. Sometimes it's focusing on the anti-rotational exercises. Okay, when you rotate, do you want the rotation? Okay, does it serve you? Are you doing a sport-specific movement? If you don't want that rotation, then that's a negative. Okay, and depending on the exercise, depending on the purpose, and this is why I always say you need to know why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, so if you don't know why you're doing that, then you shouldn't add it in. Okay, it's those things that generally you want your hips stable, and a stable hip is a front-facing hip that's locked like you would if you were standing straight. So if you're bending, okay, and dipping back like that, your hips aren't rotating further this way or further that way. Even if your body is rotating, doesn't mean your hips should be. Okay, so as you come down and you reach, how stable are those hips? Okay, because then you've got the wanted rotation in the upper body, but you have the stability in the lower body, which is kind of like swimming, for example, where you want that rotation and you want a varied degree of rotation in the hips. But if you rotate too much, you'll be on your back. Okay, same with cycling. You're there holding position. You don't want any rotation in your hips. You just want your legs firing like pistons. Where I see a lot of people, they're swaying from side to side to trying to get extra momentum and power, and it creates a lot of wasted energy, right? So it's sometimes you want the rotation, sometimes you don't, sometimes you want the stability. So it's fighting that, and potentially it means that you can't get all the way down to the floor like you used to, right? And that's fine. It's just saying, right, okay, are my hips in check? And then I'll go as low as I can to get my hips perfect. All right. So taking the toes out nice and wide, heel a big toe down, coming down, nice and easy. Much harder this side for me. Don't know about you guys. Last time. Good job, well done. Shake it out. Okay, so gently chuck your stuff out of the way. Nice and easy. And what you're going to do, you're going to go back into the position that you first started in. Draw the ankles down, feet nice and flat, hips on top of the heel. You're going to walk it down just like so. Taking big, deep breaths. Absolutely amazing effort, guys. Well done. So from there, coming up and over, drawing your hips down, stretching out. Coming up nice and tall. Heels as low to the floor. Stretching down as best as you can. So slide one leg forward, rotate around. So swapping back. rotating around. Good. Gently coming back, this time sliding through, coming there, coming up, rotating through, sinking it down as deep as you can. So coming up, swap sides, coming through. Good. From there, spinning around, having one leg in, one leg out, holding onto your toes, coming all the way up, coming down as best as you can. Good. Coming up, swapping legs. Rotating over. Good. Sitting up nice and tall. Feet together. Drawing it in as much as you can, puffing that chest out. Drawing up, drawing the knees down, stretching out that groin. And shake it out. Good job. Whew. So don't forget to foam roll. Don't forget to do all that extra recovery work. You know, rehydrate, get a good meal inside you now, and yeah, foam roll, release your muscles. Have an amazing day. Okay. Standing on the legs, balance. Yeah, exactly. And it's those things that if you can stand there for 2 hours and watch a movie, then you're sorted, aren't you? No, but like in all fairness, so kind of standing on one leg in a queue, standing on one leg while you brush your teeth, while you're doing the dishes or putting the dishes in the dishwasher, obviously with a sensible head on, so you're not lifting a million things and trying to balance on so on and so forth and then smash all the dishes. But it's those little things that you can just include that in everyday practices. Standing in in a queue on one leg, just ever so slightly, lifting up the other. One, it's not noticeable, and two, it's a brilliant way of increasing your ankle stability. Going from super padded footwear to barefoot shoes like Vivos, are a brilliant way to increase proprioception within the feet. Also a brilliant way of separating those toes and so on. Using toe correctors, okay, they're like little toe spacers. Whilst you wear your shoes, are also a brilliant way of helping foot health. Realign the bones so they realign the muscles and your feet start working and contracting. Spending more time barefoot in the house is also a brilliant way. Little things like that help it reintroduce corrective biomechanics into your life and so on and so forth will help you like move leaps and bounds forward. Doing regular foam rolling, by regular I mean once or twice a day. When you're watching TV, a lot of people tell me they don't have the time, when in reality you're watching TV sat on the sofa. You could watch TV whilst having a little roll and then sit on the sofa. It's those little things that if you introduce it and incorporate it into your lifestyle that way, you've got all this free time around. You just have to be creative with it. But keep doing what you're doing. You're doing amazing. And thank you so much for joining me, giving me your time, giving me your company. I appreciate it. I love the fact the comment feed is so busy and so full. Lots of questions, lots of cheering on, lots of support. It's brilliant because that's kind of what I want this class to be and this channel to be, is a supportive community that we all help each other, we all ask questions, we all learn from each other, we all challenge each other, and then we all grow. So have an amazing day. Have an amazing weekend. I'll be here Monday morning, ready for that upper body session. If you have any questions, ask. Use this comment section. Use the comment sections in any of the video. We have a discussion board on the channel. Just go across the top of the channel and go onto the discussion board. Click and then just ask away. You can post anything you want on there within reason. Not offensive. But same with my Instagram. Hit me up on my Instagram. Hit up on Recovery Lab's Instagram, and ask questions. If you want to see certain things in classes, let me know, and I promise you I won't be offended. Like I said, this channel is as much yours as it is mine. So if you want things, let me know, and then I'll deliver. Okay? Have an amazing day. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.